That is delicious.
Super high stim, marathon endurance, intense pumps.
The
The pump is unreal.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on? It's Massive Joe's Raw Review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome Raw Review for the viewers at home today on an all-new, very high stim complete pre-workout from our new friends at Australian supplement company Nexus Sports Nutrition. It is, of course, Nexus PER4M in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's going to do. The tubs are actually quite small, and the nutritional information panel with 17 active ingredients, way too small to get it done. We about to go deep in this here Nexus PER4M pre-workout. Luckily, big ass nutritional information panel appearing on screen so you guys can play along. Starting from the top, we have 25/50 servings per container, per tub. Let me break that down for you guys. There's 50 scoops, 2 scoops for a full serve, so 25 full 2 scoop serves. And we are going to, when we get into the ingredients, and actually what you guys are seeing on screen at the moment, is the full hardcore 2 scoop serving. So just keep that in mind. In terms of the full 2 scoop serve, it's 16 grams, 8 grams per scoop, so 16 grams per 2 scoop full serve. It's a bit of a tongue twister in there. Of those 16 grams, if we do a quick sum and we add up all of the 17 active ingredients in this Nexus PER4M, we will see that there is 12.5752 grams of actives. So we're dealing with about 79% active ingredients, 21% non-actives, which is going to be your flavors, sweeteners, colors, and stabilizers, which is very good for a pre-workout. When you start getting around that 80% active ingredients, you're getting what you pay for in each and every scoop. So that's great to see. In terms of what those 17 active ingredients are made up of, guys, as always, if you're interested in learning any more about any of the ingredients that I'm about to dive into, Supplement Simplified is where you want to go. We've got an article on each and every one of them. What we are going to do, as is tradition, for complete stimulant-based pre-workout raw reviews, we're going to go through the 5 effects that we look for in complete stimulant-based pre-workouts. Effect number 1, muscle pumps and improved blood flow to working muscles. Effect number 2, muscle power. Effect number 3, muscular endurance. Effect number 4, got to be mental focus, elevation in mood, and overall nootropic experience. And effect number 5 has to be energy. Let's start one by one. Effect number 1, muscle pumps and improved blood flow. We're dealing with a full clinical dose of citrulline malate, 6 full grams citrulline and malic acid together. Citrulline is a precursor to arginine, which is a precursor to nitric oxide, which is going to help with the muscle pumps and improving blood flow. And we have this in combination with a full clinical dose of L-norvaline, which I like to call the pump prolonger, because we've got the citrulline boosting arginine as a precursor to arginine. Norvaline stops the breakdown of excess arginine. So we've got citrulline boosting arginine up, and Norvaline coming in and saying, enzymes that want to break down this high level of arginine, be gone. So we have elevated arginine for prolonging muscle pumps. So some nice synergism in there. With those 2 ingredients in those full clinical doses, we get a tick for muscle pumps and improved blood flow. Effect number 2, muscle power. Not a single ingredient in the PER4M that is going to assist with muscle power. You could make the argument that some of them may affect muscle power, but there's no betaine, there's no creatine, there's no elevate ATP, there's no peak ATP, there's nothing. So we don't get a tick for muscle power. Effect number 3, muscular endurance. Full clinical dose of beta-alanine, 3.2 grams. Beta-alanine, of course, is going to buffer those fatigue toxins, hydrogen ions, and lactic acid in particular. Going to help you train harder for longer. In combination with a decent dose of taurine. I mean, a gram we would call look, you would call it clinical. Let's just go a decent dose of taurine that's going to help with electrolyte balance and works well synergistically with beta-alanine to improve muscular endurance. So we got a tick. We're at 2 out of 3. Effect number 4. This is where it gets interesting, guys. Mental focus, elevation in mood. So far as mental focus is concerned, there is a decent dose of alpha GPC, which is a highly bioavailable form of choline, 250 milligrams in there. And we also have, mesembrine, pterostilbene mainly are going to affect mood, but they are in there as well, and they do have a little bit of an effect on mental focus, so it does a bit of both. So far as elevation in mood is concerned, we have a solid dose of L-tyrosine in combination with a super solid dose of N-acetyl L-tyrosine. Tyrosine is a precursor to L-dopa, which is a precursor to dopamine, which is going to make you feel all kinds of nice when you're getting your workout done in the gym. The acetyl chain of the L-tyrosine also crosses the blood-brain barrier and does assist with mental focus as well. So you can see the overlap here. Then we have L-theanine, about a half a clinical dose of L-theanine in there that's going to help with mood as well. And as I mentioned, the mesembrine, which is a fancy name for the canna extract in a solid dose, and some pterostilbene, significantly underdosed, about a half dose of pterostilbene, but in there nonetheless. So we have a whole lot going on in the nootropic side of things, and I'll talk to you guys about how that actually feels when we get to effects. But based on those ingredients, we get a tick for mental focus and elevation in mood. We're at 3 out of 4 as we head into effect number 5, energy. Woo! Strap yourselves in, guys. Caffeine anhydrous, 400 milligrams. Stupid dose. Very high amount of caffeine anhydrous in a 2-scoop dose. English walnut extract, also known as J. regia, 200 milligrams. Woo! In combination with the 400 mg of caffeine. We then have a solid dose of theobromine in there, standardized to 20%, 130 milligrams. We then have a solid dose, actually maximum allowable dose in Australia of bitter orange citrus aurantium extract, which is going to yield synephrine, 30 milligrams in there. And then we have a little touch of vitamin B12, 100 micrograms. Guys, there is no messing around with this formula when it comes to energy. I'll talk to you about the effects in a second, because I really want to give you my personal experience with this PER4M. We get a tick for energy, goes without saying. So we are at 4 out of 5 across the 5 effects we look for in complete stimulant-based pre-workouts. I will also add that there is some black pepper extract in there in a full 10 milligram dose, and there is some vitamin C in there, just a touch of vitamin C. Those 2 ingredients are going to help with absorption of these other 15 active ingredients. In terms of what it's missing on paper, you guys know I love to play devil's advocate here and take a deep dive. I think from a pumps perspective, we could add some nitrates for sure, and that would just give us the triple threat when it comes to boosting muscle pumps. We could also add some glycerol that's going to do a couple of things. It's going to help with hyperhydration of muscles, which is going to give us muscle volume, kind of pumps, but more importantly, going to help with muscular endurance. We absolutely could add something for muscle power: creatine, betaine, Elevate-ATP, peak ATP, creatine-phosphate, anything that's going to help with muscle power. Creatine-phosphate would actually help with muscular endurance as well, as a matter of fact. So that might be a cool ingredient to add, but that is the biggest gap in this formula. When it comes to then additional endurance, some PECO2 would work well with the beta-alanine and the taurine. And then just finally, with the nootropic effect, because there is the choline in there in terms of alpha GPC and the acetyl chain from the N-acetyl tyrosine, adding some huperzine A in there would be quite beneficial from a mental focus perspective. That being said, that's just me being nitpicky and trying to round the formula out. We're at 4 out of 5. It is a very solid formula on paper, especially when it comes to that nootropic effect and the energy effect. And we'll get into those in a second. But before we do, it comes in 8 flavors, guys. 8 flavors. It comes in Arctic Slushy. It comes in Citrus Bomb. Comes in Electric Mango, which I actually tried the other day. Delicious. Comes in Grape Explosion. I have my personal tub of Grape Explosion down here, ready for our infamous Massive Joe's Taste and Mixability test. Comes in Jawbreaker. Comes in Rainbow Candy. Comes in red sour straps, the flavor in front of you guys at the moment, and also comes in a vanilla cola flavor. Let me grab my personal tub of the Grape Explosion here. Guys, I have done a scoop test, and I can tell you that a level scoop is supposed to weigh 8 grams. A completely level scoop that looks like that weighs exactly 8 grams. Nexus are not here to fuck spiders when it comes to the scoop volume, as they should be, because this is a very strong pre-workout. So I'm happy to see that like one scoop is not 10 grams, because that's gonna blow someone's head off. Infamous Massive Joe's taste and mixability test about to go down. I have my 1 level 8 gram scoop here ready to go. I'm actually not going to follow the instructions because Nexus have done what they need to do from an Australian regulatory perspective to get the amount of caffeine per milliliters of water, because we have these amazing laws that don't make a whole lot of sense here. Regulations, I should say, that don't make a whole lot of sense. So what I'm gonna do, instead of take 1 scoop and mix it with 600 mils of water, which is what the directions say, I'm gonna half the amount of water, because I think if we're doing 1 scoop, we're going about a glass of water, 300 mils. If we're going 2 scoops, sure, you might go a full shaker. But we are all ready to go here. I have my MJ shaker with 300 mils of water. I have my 1 level scoop of the Grape Explosion flavor PER4M. Let me give it a few flicks of the wrist. Show you guys how this PER4M Grape Explosion mixes. And then refresh my memory. Had a little bit this morning, so it wasn't too long ago. On how this Grape Explosion tastes. All right, that's enough. As you guys can see, mixes pretty damn well. If I let it sit there for long enough and just kind of let it settle, you will get some sinkers down the bottom. That being said, it is a pre-workout. Most of us are mixing it in the shaker, so I would go so far as to say turbo ball is required for this here Nexus PER4M pre-workout. Let me refresh my memory on how the Grape Explosion flavor tastes, man. It's not bad. It's not bad. I want to keep drinking it, but I know how strong this pre-workout is. So 1 more sip, and that'll be done. In terms of the flavors in general, so I have now tried Arctic Slushy, Citrus Bomb, Electric Mango, Grape Explosion, Jawbreaker, Red. I've tried 7 of the only one I haven't tried is Rainbow Candy. The flavor is very, very good across all of the flavors. They're not punch you in the face, overly sweet and overly flavored. They are very pleasant to drink. And just they've done a really good job with creating a pre-workout that is really easy to drink with a whole range of flavors. And to be honest, you guys know I'm not a big fan of citrus, but even the Citrus Bomb flavor is really good. I haven't tried a flavor, and I've tried 7 of them now, that I haven't gone, I could go through a whole tub of that. So I think Nexus have done a really, really good job with the flavors of this PER4M. Of the flavors that I have personally tried, my top 2 have to be the vanilla cola and this one right here, the red sour straps. They are delicious. In terms of the effects, because that's what you're taking your pre-workout for, guys. And this is one hell of a pre-workout, let me tell you. Pumps are solid. Nothing mind-blowing, nothing spectacular about the muscle pumps, but you do get them. You get solid pumps. They are consistent and they're just solid. Muscle power, non-existent. Do not take this pre-workout if you're trying to increase strength, increase power in the gym. It's just not going to do anything for you. Muscular endurance is also very solid. Full clinical dose of beta-alanine is going to do that. You definitely experience an elevation in muscular endurance. So those 3 effects, let's just kind of take them, park them over here, because this is where it gets really interesting. From a nootropic effect, the mental focus is there. It's nothing like a tunnel vision mental focus. It's nothing like a wired in mental focus. It's just a nice elevation in mental focus that just kind of feels good. Nothing incredible, but it's there. Mood is amazing. The mood on the Perform is one of the best nootropic experiences when it comes to elevation in mood, when it comes to feeling of well-being, when it comes to just feeling really fucking good while you're training that I have ever experienced on a pre-workout. It is hands down incredible. Energy. Now, when I first started on this Perform, I looked at the panel and I was like, oh shit, all right, I'm starting on half a scoop. Let me start on half a scoop and let me work my way out from there. So I've done half a scoop. I've done a full scoop. I went to 1.5 scoops the weekend just passed to train legs on a Sunday, and it fucking blew my head off. And I was like, that's it. I can't go more than 1.5 scoops. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the energy on a 1.5 scoop serve, because that's as high as I've personally been able to go. And for me, that was like an intense pre-workout experience. It is really powerful energy. It comes on very fast. It hits you like a freight train. Interestingly enough, it doesn't drop you like a sack of shit after your workout, at least at a 1.5 scoop. I'm not sure on 2 scoops, but 1.5 scoops it didn't. It just came in really fast, came in really intense, gave me a shit ton of energy. I trained the fucking house down, and then I felt good afterwards. So it's an interesting energy experience. It is a very, very strong pre-workout when it comes to the energy effect. Let me just dial it back as well, because the combination of that intense energy, and this is probably why it doesn't drop you like a sack of shit now that I'm talking through it, the combination of that really intense energy combined with the incredible elevation in mood and feeling of well-being experience that you get from the Perform is just a really nice, it's a really nice delta that Perform has managed to hit, where you just feel really good. You feel like you got a ton of energy, you feel really good, the endurance is there, the pumps are there, and it's just a fucking great pre-workout to train on, to be honest with you guys. It is really, even at half a scoop for me, stacked with Nexus Amped, which I'll talk about in a second, it's just a really nice pre-workout experience. In terms of the side effects, you got to be aware of the total stimulants here, guys. Do what I did. Start with half a scoop, work your way up, see where your sweet spot is, see where your maximum spot is. Take my advice, unless you are a high stim pre-workout junkie, do not go straight to 2 scoops, because it's going to blow your head off. Or if you are a pre-workout stim junkie, go straight to 2 scoops and have yourself a great fucking time. The other piece of advice in terms of side effects is don't take it on an empty stomach. 17 active ingredients, massive doses across most of those active ingredients. Make sure you've got a little bit of food in your stomach, because there is the chance that it can upset your stomach or make you feel a little bit nauseous. In terms of stackability, that's where I want to talk about Amped, because Nexus do a stim-free pre-workout called Amped or Amp 3D, and I have been experimenting with doses of each. So I've done half a scoop of Performed, 1 scoop of Amped, half a scoop of Performed, 2 scoops of Amped, 1 scoop of Performed, 1 scoop of Amped, 1 scoop of Performed, 2 scoops of Amped. I've just kind of messed around, and I've found that my sweet spot with the Nexus pre-workout stack is 1 scoop of Perform stacked with 2 scoops of Amped. Let me tell you guys, it is incredible. The pumps, ridiculous. The power, non-existent across both products. Just throw power out the window. Pumps, amazing. Endurance, ridiculous. Focus, elevation, mood, feeling of well-being, energy, all of that entire effect is, you have to try it. You guys have to try that stack to really experience it for yourselves, because it is world-class, and Nexus have done a great job. Back to stackability, obviously it's going to stack well with stim-free pre-workouts. Obviously, do not stack this with anything else that has stimulants in it. It's a very, very high stim pre-workout, and you just don't need any other stimulants in your formula, in your system, I should say, because it has it in this formula. In terms of what it compares to, I am going to put this Perform up against one of the most popular high-stim complete pre-workouts ever created in the Australian marketplace, Faction Labs Disorder, and then one of the, let's call it, most renowned, most highly respected high-stim complete pre-workouts, Inspired Big Black Devastate. Let's start with Disorder. Disorder and Perform, the pumps are very similar. The power is very similar in that it's non-existent in both. The endurance is very similar. The mental focus is very similar. They're very similar pre-workouts. The mood and feeling of well-being, in my personal opinion, is better in Perform than it is in Disorder. The energy in both of them is extremely intense. I personally think that it's more balanced, especially with the nootropic effect in Perform than it is Disorder. Disorder is literally the blow your head off pre-workout. Perform is almost the blow your head off pre-workout, but it's much more balanced in terms of that combination and synergism between high stim energy and nootropic effect. More flavors to choose from in Disorder, currently 12 versus 8 in Perform. Disorder flavors are great. Perform flavors are great. It really comes down to personal preference. I think Disorder probably have some more unique flavors than Perform, but both of them taste really, really well. And same price for both for same number of serves. So when you're comparing it to Disorder, if you want the blow your head off pre-workout, Disorder is probably going to be a ticket. If you want something more balanced, especially when it comes to mood and energy, Perform is going to be your ticket. On the flip side, compared to Inspired Big Black Devastate, the pumps, once again, very similar. The power, very similar in the fact that it's non-existent in both. Endurance, very similar. Mental focus, very similar. So once again, very similar pre-workouts. The mood and the feeling of well-being across both is also very similar. Once again, when it comes to the energy, I personally feel like it's more balanced with the nootropic effect in Perform than it is in Big Black Devastate. That's just my personal opinion, but I feel like Nexus have really done a great job of finding that perfect balance or that perfect delta between high stim, intense energy, elevation in mood, and feeling of well-being. 8 flavors to choose from across both products. All of those flavors are very good. Once again, I think probably Inspired Big Black Devastate has some more unique flavors, but both of them are very good. You really can't go wrong in terms of flavors. Inspired Big Black Devastate is $5 more per tub for the same number of serves, 25 serves, 50 full scoops. Who is the Nexus Perform best for? Guys, I think anybody who wants a very strong, complete stimulant-based pre-workout that is just going to be very consistent with pumps and endurance, not going to do anything for muscle power, that's why I didn't mention it, very consistent with pumps and endurance, and just a really nicely balanced elevation in intense energy with a very, very good elevation in mood and feeling of well-being. I think if those are the effects that you're looking for in your pre-workout, you guys are really going to enjoy training on this Nexus Perform. Last but not least, price and value for money. You're looking at $69.95 for 50 scoops or 25 2-scoop serves. It puts it at $1.40 per scoop, $2.80 per serve. Doesn't matter how you cut that, guys. It is extremely good value for money. Like I said, if you guys are looking for a high stim pre-workout that you need to try it to really understand what I'm talking about when I talk about this delta effect, this perfect balance of high stim energy and elevation in mood. And as I mentioned earlier, stack it with Nexus Amped. It's going to be one of the best pre-workout experiences that you guys have ever had. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MJ Fitness YouTube channel, guys. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, your desktop PC, your smart TV, and whatever other device you are watching this video on, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to all these new Raw reviews and everything else we've got happening here on the channel. Guys, that is Raw review on the all-new Nexus PER4M pre-workout in the house. And I'm coming to you from MassiveDrones.com.